Now, I'm sure you've all heard of the rallies that have been taking place in Queen's Park against the genocide of the Tamil people of Sri Lanka. Now, the Sri Lankans and the Tamils have been fighting for 25 years over the land of the Tamils, claimed in Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan government have started killing massive amounts of Tamil people. It's a heart-wrenching story in which Nisha Davis reports on the struggles of the Tamil Canadians to stop this inhumane act against their own families back in Sri Lanka.
On March 16, thousands of people flooded the streets of Toronto in protest of the genocidal war against Tamils in Sri Lanka. Hundreds of rallies took place around Ontario between January and March 2009, with over 30,000 Sri Lankan people coming together in an effort to stop the mass killings of the Tamil people in Sri Lanka. What many people don't know is that the protests are for a war that began decades ago.
My name is Shamini Ratneswaran. I'm the Media Relations Coordinator for Canadian Heart. The war between the Sinhalese government and the Tamil people of the northeastern part of Sri Lanka has been going on for over 25 years. And it has been to do with this Tamil people wanting the land in the northeastern part of Sri Lanka. Over the past, I would say 3 months, the increase of the death toll has gone up to there has been around 3,200 approximately deaths just over the past couple of months, over the past 75 days. And aside from that, approximately 9,300 people have been injured and still are injured.
My name's Tharsla Karunakaran, and I'm part of the Canadian Heart's Media Committee. There's more than 1,200 human rights violations being taken on by the Sri Lankan government. And it's not to say that we haven't been aware of the issue that's been going on all this time. We have been aware of it, but I think it's the media that hasn't been aware of it. So as Tamil people within the community, we've been taking our stance from day one with the situation, but I think our recent thing was to bring it more into mainstream and allow the non-Tamil people to know what's going on.
We took it on our own to go out and educate the Canadian community because that's what was lacking, the education aspect of the war, what really is happening, why there is a war between the Tamil people and the Sinhalese government.
There were so many more people at the rallies, and we've always had the big crowd with the big events. We just never got the coverage for it. And I think recently with a lot more people coming out with the situation and putting aside their fear of being labelized, I think the community is starting to see that, oh, okay, there's much more than we had anticipated with what was going on in Sri Lanka.
The Tamil community has always been strong and united, but because of the recent killings, a lot of people have been attending every single rally, every single protest that's been put forth, and it's been very successful. A lot of non-Tamil people in the community, in the mainstream community, have come out to support us. A lot of people are educating themselves about what's happening and are coming out and wanting to volunteer and help out and spreading the awareness.
My name's Dashla, and I'm here because I'm standing up for my country.
You can sign a petition against the Sri Lankan government.
Right now, currently, they're building a camp there for 400,000 Tamil people. They're calling it like
all Tamil people join together because a lot of the victims are families of people here, and even if they aren't our family, they are family to us. A lot of the Tamil people in Toronto connect with each person there in some way. It's every time we hear a story, it's a story that's told, and we feel as that could be me, that could be my sister, that could be my mother.
Two of my uncles got killed in the free safe zone. It makes me feel really sad, and like I sometimes I cry because I'm still scared that all my other cousins and friends will die.
So youth have definitely stepped up and have been part of organizing a lot of these rallies, and it's been successful, and a lot of youth are taking it on their own to educate themselves about the history of the war.
Okay, hi, my name is Tirmal Kumirappa, and I'm here because I want people to know about what's actually happening, the Sri Lankan government has been bombing innocent victims. It's not the LTTE that they are bombing. It's the hospitals they're bombing. It's the innocent people that's being affected. And if you're passing by and you're thinking, why are they here? It's because injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, as Dr. Martin Luther King has said. It's not fair. It's the human rights. The Tamil people have that right taken away from them when children are left as orphans, when wives are left as widows. The whole economy has suffered. Schools have been bombed. Education systems have been it's all out of proportion. So what we need is the government to take action, not just to give the money, but to stop Mahinda Rajapaksa, who is a war criminal, to stop the Sri Lankan government from doing what they are doing, because it's not right.
I think the long-term goal is for a separate nation. But right now, I think our short-term goal is to allow medical and food supplies to be given to the victims there, to allow NGOs back in, to help the displaced victims. And I think an important thing is to allow media coverage so that people understand what's really going on, the severity of the bombings that are taking place and the injuries that are being sustained by the victims there. And also for the victims in the safe zones to actually be safe. You know, they call it a safe zone, but then they bomb them. Well, how does that make sense? And that's why we've had a lot of the rallies, a lot of the protests, with people coming out and advising non-Tamil people once again of what's going on so that we can have the government step in. You know, it's more than just terrorism right now. At this point, it's human rights. You know, basic human rights are being denied for human beings like ourselves, except they're in Sri Lanka.
Since the protests began, the Sri Lankan government has been accused of war crimes by the UN. It seems that the war is coming to an end, but there's still tens of thousands of Tamil people being held in the no-fire zone. Many still fear that the Sri Lankan government will kill the remaining Tamil people there.